Hello everyone, welcome once again to another Power BI tutorial by Slide School. In this part, we are doing investment overview dashboard. We are creating this dashboard on Indian startups data. So this is Indian startups investment trends data. For that, we are doing some analysis here, and you can see total amount raised by year or month is something that you can see here, quarterly, monthly, yearly. We will also see top 5 sectors by amount raised on the basis of competitors, profitability by amount raised, exit status, total amount raised by subsector and tech stack, funding stage, different cities by amount raised. You can see in Bangalore most amount has been raised. So this is what we are going to develop here. This is the first part where we'll create this simple interactive dashboard, and then in the second part we will create other dashboards. So this is going to be a series. So let's get started with building this particular dashboard. So the dataset that we are using in this project is Indian Startup Investment Trends dataset. Here you can see for every startup we have a startup ID, and total 12,429 rows are there, and names are given like a startup 01, etc. Important thing is their retail, ed tech, agri tech, means their sector is given, subsector is given, city, state, founded year, founded name, founding stage, investment type, grant, debt, convertible, amount raised, investors count, how many investors are there, lead investor, co-investor, valuation post funding, its revenue, profitability, number of employees, etc. are given, right? Total number of patents, main thing is ESG score, diversity index, net impact score. This dataset has been downloaded from this particular Kaggle URL, and in this Kaggle URL, uh, we found this dataset very useful for students who are learning business analytics, business intelligence. So this will be very much helpful for them, and that's why we have downloaded the file with 12 columns. If you want to read more about the dataset, you can go here and read about it. Now we will simply load this dataset and start analyzing. Now here are some Power BI dashboard ideas to analyze this dataset and create some dashboards. First of all, we will open Power BI and load the dataset. Since the dataset is a CSV file, we will upload CSV. Once it is loaded, you can check all the columns are mapped properly, and then you can load the data. Here we have the dataset name, so we will simply rename it as data, or we can rename it as startups, just the short name. So when we will need some DAX queries or DAX expressions, when we'll write them and use this table, then it will be easier for us to just call its name. Now first of all, we will do some basic setup for our dashboard design. So here we will simply go to our page setting, and we will select a page background. Let's say we want to select a dark green page background. You can select any other page background that you want. Let's say 4% transparency. This is our background color. You can choose any other color, and here we will add a text box. In the text box we will put our heading name, and the heading name is investment overview dashboard. This is the first dashboard that we are creating, and we will use a font size of around 24. So this will be our investment overview dashboard, and we will use some color here. So we will use a dark green color for it. If you want to see what color have we selected for our current data set, so you can again go to customize the page setting, page background, and the color that we have used here is this hex code. We can copy and then we can go in more colors. We can apply the same hex code. Okay, this way the same color will be selected. So this is the dashboard area here. We can always enable some shadow or some kind of visual effects to enable it. And when you are creating a shadow, you can also select the color of shadow to make it appear, properly. Now the first dashboard chart that we are going to create is total funding over time, and type of chart we can use is line chart. So we can show investment trends from 2000 to 2023. So first of all, we will create a line chart here. Let's select a particular size for our line chart, and then on x-axis we will bring year. So in the data set we have year information. So first of all we will see year. So this is funding date. So we will simply bring funding date here in x-axis. This will bring all the hierarchies here like year, quarter, month and day. On y-axis we will bring valuation or those kind of columns. So in order to find that amount, we can search amount raised here. Okay, so we will simply use amount raised, and now you will see in different years the amount raised by different startups, and this is summarizing the data. For example, in year 2015 sum of amount raised, 2017-16 it was highest in 2020, and by the end of 2023 you can see the amount there. Here what we can do, we have data labels. We can turn them on or switch them on, and here in data labels we have position, minimum offset, maximum offset, etc. We also have value, and we have display unit. So for example, current display unit is in billions. You want to display it in thousands, so you can select that, right? So this is one option that you can use. Uh, or you can show in millions. Now when you are showing the data values and you think that these values are not visible properly, because we want to see the value numbers also, so one thing you can do, you can make them bold. You can increase their font size also so that they are properly visible, and you can select some color also. For example, we can select some shade of green here. Okay, so this is something you can do. Now we also have lines here. Only one line is here, and the color used is this blue color. So we can select the font color, or we can select this color, whatever you prefer to show the color. You can also select in the same chart, you can also select area chart to show shaded portion. And this is sum of amount raised by year. Okay, so we can simply change the title to total amount raised by year, make it bold, select color, align it to center, go to effects, enable shadow, enable visual border, select 12 pixel border radius, and select border shadow as white color. So this way we have the chart ready. This is total amount raised by year. Now here you can see these arrows, so you can click to turn on drill down. So when you will click it, you can turn on the drill down. You can select this is quarterly data and this is monthly data. Okay, and this one here is date wise data. So you can go one stage up. If you want to show monthly, in which month is favorable for the startup owners, so you can see months like December and September are important months, and here every time you are seeing sum of amount raised. So when you will click on it, because here the field is given as sum of amount raised, so you can simply write total amount raised or amount raised, right? When you will go in the tooltip, now you will see that value. This is total amount raised. In there is one more thing just want to add. So we can also enable markers here and type of marker, like what shape. For example, this, you know, a cross, a dot, a diamond shape. Whatever you prefer, you can enable that. Now, after creating the total funding over time, we can also see top 10 sectors by funding, like bar chart. So highlight industries receiving the most investments. So here we have different type of sectors, right? So travel tech, retail, ed tech, etc. So let's say we will keep this same uh, numerical field, which is amount received or amount raised. So what we are going to do, we will simply create a bar chart here, and since we have to tell top 10, so we'll see what settings are we going to do in order to show top 10 values. And here, first of all, on x-axis we will drag the sector name, okay, and on y-axis we will simply drag the amount. You can also bring other numerical fields also, but here you can see we have different amount. Now in this case we have total of 7 sectors. So obviously top 10 will not be possible, but let's say we want to show top 5. Okay, so how can we show something like top 5 here? And one thing, first of all, we will select the chart format painter and we will display the data here. And one more thing, we will go to columns and select a different color. Okay, now the data label value will not be visible, so we will go to value, and from here we will select a light color. So this is sum of amount raised by sector. Obviously we will change the heading later, or we can rename it as amount raised by sector. Let's say we want to show top 5 or something like that. So in order to do that, just go on filter, and here you have amount raised is all and sector is all. Here we will go to basic filtering and select top n. So here you can see we have different type of filtering, right? So in basic filtering you can see all the sectors, but if you will select top n, here we can write top 5, and in fields we will drag sum of amount received. So these are top 5 sectors by sum of amount received, and here you can see we have the information, right? And we can reduce their height and width accordingly. Let's say we have this width as 505, let's keep it to 500, and height is 235. So similarly we can also do the same here. So this is total amount raised by year, and this is top 10 or top 5 sectors by amount raised. Okay, next what we can do, we can also do we have a startup ID, we have funding stage. Okay, so we can also see amount raised in different funding stages. Okay, so we can either do a tree map or a donut chart or pie chart. So for example, here first let's see the funding stages. So when you see funding stages, you can see here also we have 6 different stages: IPO, seed, series A, series B, series C, D. So if we are doing investment overview here, so what we can do, we can again uh, create a simple donut chart here. Okay, obviously which we will decide later, like based on number of graphs that we want to put in this dashboard. So first we will rename it as investment overview, because we are going to create multiple dashboards here in order to create the complete report. Now here in legend, whenever you have a pie chart or donut chart, so in legend you drag a categorical column. Okay, the categorical column for us is funding stage here. So let's type it here. So this is funding stage. Okay, so you can see IPO, seed, etc. And in values we will simply drag the amount raised, which we are analyzing here. Now here you can see the values, the colors are on the basis of different funding stage colors, but we can go to slices and select our own colors also. Let's say we want to select a dark green color for highest value or a stage with highest number of funding. Then we can also, so first we will select this color and we can go to more colors, and here we will just enable a lighter shade. Okay, so we will add that lighter shade value here, a little lighter shade, for example this. So what we are doing here, we are creating a gradient color like thing. So on the basis of different color shades that we have, okay, darker, darkest, then a little lighter than that, little bit lighter than that, lighter than that, and finally the lightest color we can select, and something like this, right? So this way you will be able to use the same theme color and you will be able to show the value. So what it is showing right now is sum of amount raised by funding stage. Obviously its styling can be a little bit different. So here I'm not going to copy it because it may change the colors, but here first of all I will enable a visual border. Let me quickly do it. 12 pixel shadow color, I will select a light color, and title bold, our theme color line center, and text will be amount raised by, total amount raised by funding stage. Okay, so you can see in series C 70.17% amount, in series B or series B 10 billion 16.78, and lowest is 10 billion also in IPO stage. Okay, whenever the IPO is released, then obviously initially it gets a lot of funding, and those who understand this will get a better idea of what is happening here. And as we have created top 10 sectors by amount stage, we can also create a top 5 sector. We can also create top 10 cities by amount raised. Okay, or top 10 states also. So for example, here we have the state name and we have the city name also. So we can show different type of graphs for it. There's no need to always show this bar chart, but let me show you how to show bar chart and how to show a map chart, and whatever you prefer you can use in your report. So here we will simply drag city because it's a categorical value. So for example, let's search city and we will bring it to x-axis. Okay, so you can see Bangalore, Mumbai, Hyderabad, etc. Obviously these are the major cities in India, and here sector is given. So first we will remove the sector and we will say in city we will do top n and we will bring top 10 by amount. Okay, so by amount raised. You can use any other numerical value also. So here we are seeing top 10 cities by amount raised, and here for some reason we are still seeing top 5. Let's see why. We are seeing only 6 cities. That may be because we don't have those many cities. Yeah, so we actually have 6 cities only. So in this case it will be better to just remove this type of filtering, and so we will clear the filter and city is all. Okay, so these are top 5 city, or these are top or cities by amount raised, because in this case we don't have, but let's say we have data of all cities, so we can do top 10 or top 5 this way. So this is simply cities by amount raised. Now let's say we want to show it in terms of a map chart, so you can simply select the map chart, and here the bubble size, okay, amount raised will be shown with bubble size here. So city with more value will have a bigger bubble size, but these values are very close to each other. That's why these bubble sizes are also very similar in size and shape, because that's why a preferred type of graph will be the bar chart here. And here we can select a pie chart. In pie chart also we can show the different type of values as we have shown in total amount raised by funding stage. So we can simply go here in slices, we can select the same colors. So luckily we have the colors here, we will simply select them one by one, and then it will be easier for us. Instead of this white color, we will select little lighter than that, and here we will select this. So this is cities by amount raised, and if you want to see or show data labels, obviously these are there, and in data labels you have values. Color is something that you have to select. This way you will be able to show the values as well. These are the cities by amount raised. If you want to include more charts here, you can always, you know, increase or decrease their width accordingly. So but we want to show the values properly, so we can keep the size as this much. We also have the profitability status. So profitability is either yes or no, and we can also see amount raised by profitability status, right? So for that we can make some space here, and by copying the graph we will simply, remove this legend. So we have to remove this legend here, and we will drag profitability here. We can see cities by amount raised. Instead of that we will see, simply say profitability by amount raised, and here we will simply go to properties, and first of all visual properties, and here we will choose darker and lighter color. Obviously here, since we have two different values almost similar, but uh, we are selecting the darker value with, higher value. That means yes, we can see more amount is raised where profitability is yes, although by a very small amount, but this will give you some idea. Next, we also have tech stack, which is an interesting thing. Like what type of tech stack is there? For example, AI, AR, VR, big data, blockchain, cloud, IoT, right? What type of tech stack are these startups using? And on the basis of that also we can create a simple chart here. So we will simply use clustered column chart here. So here we will select and use a clustered column chart, and since we have simply changed it, so you can see the gradient is still there, but when we will remove the data, it will give us the default colors. So sum of amount raised by tech stack, and this is very much same, but 10.7 billion, 10.6 billion. Obviously when we are seeing it in billion, amount is looking almost similar, but obviously in billion, 10.7 and 10.6 is actually a very big difference in terms of amounts. So And as per the data we can see it is mostly in blockchain. But when we are using column chart, so in column chart, when you go to columns, you have a function here, and you can select gradient, and here you can select color for your lowest value. Let's say we will select a color for our lowest value, something like this, and color for the highest value, we will select something like a dark color. Okay, so all the colors between will be within these values. So this way, when it will click OK, you will see from lowest to highest, you will see the gradient. Here, this is called legend, which shows the minimum and maximum value. So if you want to show it, you can keep showing. Otherwise, you can disable it. You can click the chart and disable the legend. But if you want to display, you can keep it there. Okay. Now, as we have tech stack, we can simply copy it here, and we can also show the subsector. Okay. In subsector, although it is not specified like what is the meaning of this subsector, but sub 2, sub 5, you can see. So the subsector sub 5 has the most amount of you know funding. And one more thing is you have to change the titles. So this is total amount raised by tech stack. So tech stack, and here it is total amount raised by subsector. Subsector. As we have profitability by amount raised, we can also show amount raised or exit status by amount raised. So here, first of all, let's change the title. This will be exit status, and here we can select different slice color. So here you can see almost the same ratio, 50.01. Here the margin is still narrower, but we will choose the different colors for it. So we will select these two colors. Now what we can do here is we can use this simple space for some filters. So for example, we want to use state as a filter or any other categorical values as a filter. So we can add them here. So first thing, let's say we have to drag the state field here. Okay. And we will go to filter setting, slicer setting, and here we will simply select the drop down list here, and here in visual setting we can go to slicer header. First of all, we can make it bold and select a font color here, and for values also we can increase or decrease the size, and from here we can select color, what type of color do you want to display there. So all the states will be displayed here. So most of the startups that we have are from Delhi, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Telangana. So if you will select Delhi, you will see cities, etc. Somehow you can see cities by amount raised is not getting filtered for Delhi. So this may be not properly listed there. So we will see that problem later. And other things here are being filtered. So that is something that you can check. Here what we can do, we can go and in effects we can enable the visual border, and we can use a rounded shape here. Similarly, we will use another filter here. So we are going to use two different filters. So here we will use competitors. So we have different type of categorical values, and competitors is all competitor 1 to 3. although their names are not specified, but competitor wise you will be able to filter the data, and whatever filters you want to use, you can use. There is one more thing in slices, that in slices selection you can enable show all. So this way person will be able to select all. Similarly here also you will be able to go to effect and not effect, but here in selection you can select show all. Okay, so anytime person will be able to select all. So these are simple slices. Now what we have done here is a very simple dashboard, but we still have a lot more remaining, like sector wise investment analysis, geographical investor insights dashboard, where we write top investors by number of deals, you know, investments by type like angel, BCP, corporate, etc. Startup growth and valuation dashboard, ESG and diversity metrics dashboard, like ESG score distribution, diversity index, etc. are also given. Like these are some important metrics given. So number of patents, ESG score, etc. So this is something that we are going to cover in the second part of this chapter. So please subscribe to our channel so that you will receive notification when we'll upload the second part. Till now, you can try this first part and try creating this simple dashboard so that you can analyze the data of different Indian startups.